I know how bad it is to create a content strategy for your language academy every 3 months and nothing seems to work. And it's not totally your problem, but it has to do with the structure. So what's stopping you from creating a solid content strategy that will last probably for 12 months is, first, your beliefs around content strategies and content in general. Second, it has a little bit to do with your behavior. And third, it has to do with knowledge. Now, after I figure out how to actually create a solid content strategy for any language academy on earth that lasts for 2 years, and that's what you can see on the screen, this is a brand that I worked with, which was my first client. I started working with this brand when it has only 5,000 followers, and now, as you can see, it has 70k followers. And these people are actively seeking to learn the language from them. But let me clarify something at first, that content alone will not do this for you. It will not get you a lot of clients, but if you combine it with something else, you will get the clients. So content is the way to get more students, but it's not the only element. So in this video, we will discuss exactly what you should do and what you should not when you're planning on creating a content strategy for your language academy. So first, I want you to imagine with me a beautiful Aston Martin, and you're driving this Aston Martin with a flat tire. Now, if you have all the fuel in the world and you keep adding fuel to the Aston Martin, it will not go fast as if all the tires are in a good shape. Now, that's the same thing for your language academy. Even if you have good ads, but your content sucks, you will not get there faster. And what I mean by there is getting to have consistently hundreds plus students every session in your classes. And that's exactly what my client get to experience. Now, the first thing you should avoid is copying what you see online, what you see out there. Don't copy what your competitors are doing, because maybe what serves them will not serve you, because each person has his beliefs, has his identity, and using these beliefs and identity, he projects this to the world. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is language academy owners copying other videos from TikTok. And you probably saw those videos. How to say this in British accent, how to say this in American accent. Probably you are teaching Arabic or French or English, okay? But a lot of people are teaching English nowadays based on demand. So I don't want to bias you into teaching English, but what I mean is people are copying content that doesn't serve them, because that type of content gets views. It's right, that type of content always gets views, but it's not the content that will get you qualified students who want to actually learn the language. Now, the second thing that I always say to my clients is do only what you can handle. Don't be biased by someone telling you online to post 7 times a week or 3 times a week or 12 times a week. Do what you can only handle. If you can post twice a week, then do it and be consistent in that, because using the exponential graphs that you can see here on the screen, that people who maintain consistency for a long period of time, they will get there faster than you. So I don't want you just to be biased by posting 7 times a week, probably 5 times a week. If you can post 2, just post 2. Now, these are basic things you probably know, but let's get technical. I want you to build a system or an SOP. SOP is a word standard for standard operation procedure. Create a system that will always help you film content or produce content effortlessly without wasting a lot of hours, because from experience, I was back then editing videos. It was taking me 6 hours to produce one video, from filming it to editing, and I got into the fourth, which seems crazy. And how I did that is by creating a system that I can follow every day, even if I'm tired, that will allow me to produce the content as fast as possible. Now, this is a huge one, which is niche down. Niche down You have to niche down so you understand who you're really talking to. Because what I see is when I ask some of the prospects, who are you teaching? They say people who want to learn language. Let's say we're talking about Russian. They say something like people who want to learn Russian. Well, that's so basic and that's so surface level thing. You have to be so specific to the point that you understand their pain points, their beliefs, and what keeping them awake at night. And I did that even outside language teaching. And I understand a lot about my ideal client to the point that it seems crazy. And that's how you can communicate with these people. Because I know it's hard to produce content. I know it's bad to produce content and never see results. And that's why you should niche down. So, for example, if you're speaking to your brother, let's say, for example, you want to sell something to your brother or sister or mother, it will be so easier to sell to your mother or brother than selling to a stranger because you already understand what they want, what their desire, what their fears, and what they want to get rid of. But if you're talking to everybody out there, no one will hear you. Like imagine going out going out in the street and start yelling, "Hey everyone, you dropped your phone." Well, guess what? No one will even bother to turn their head around. But for example, if you say, "Hey Julie, you dropped your phone," every Julie out there on the street will turn back to you because now you call them by their name. Now imagine if you call them by their problems and the things they hate and the things they love. And humans relate with people or other humans that they understand and they feel understood when talking to. So doing videos like how to say this, how to say that, or some activity will not get people to trust you because nowadays trust is more valuable than views. I know some language academies, and one of them is my client, that has only 2,000 views per video, and he's making 40,000 euro a month. And this takes us to something really important, which is know your objective. Define your objective. What do I want in these 3 months? Do I want views? Do I want followers? Do I want saves? Do I want to build trust? You need to pick your North Star. And this is something the CMO of Meta wrote a book and he included this in his book. And for someone who worked in Meta, he understands probably algorithm better than 0.0001% of the world. He said, define your North Star and stick to it until you find results. Now, a North Star has two faces. The North Star is what do you want people to see you as? What do you want what do you want people to remember you for? And what's your objective of doing content? Because we don't post content for the sake of posting content. Okay, you don't wake up every day going to work, managing teachers, planning for lessons just for the sake of planning lessons. You are putting all this effort to make money at the end. So define your objective and stick to it and do only one objective at a time. If I want to get followers, then I will make my content only focus on getting followers. I'm not gonna make my content have CTAs like go link in bio, buy my course. No one will care because that will contradict the objective of the content. If you want to get followers, encourage people to follow you. Now there is a lot of methods, complicated methods that I teach my clients. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but there is a lot of valuable ways to do this. But I'm telling you, you have to define your objective, your North Star. If you want probably a lot of sales, then you should create content that actually deserves sales. If you want to if you want to build trust with the prospects or the students, your potential students, then you have to create content that build trust and not be salesy. If you want to do sales and grow your revenue, then you have to actually create strategy that give you revenue. I hope that's clear. Now I'll go back to understanding people you're talking to. This is the most important thing. This is one of the biggest things that you can leverage in your business. Because once you understand that and you create a strategy and a system that allows you to understand these people, because you can't understand these people unless you have a system that will allow you to understand these people, you will never lack ideas anymore. Literally. If you if you're crossing the street and someone, God forbid, was about to hit you with his car, you will find a content idea that you can leverage in your social media. And that's the point that you can reach once you have a system that actually gives you ideas. If you want to go forward with this, you have to build your strategy based on data and feedbacks. If you get to this point, you will know if the next content you will post is going to perform or not. Now, when I say performance doesn't mean views. It means achieving the KPI. The KPIs are the key performance indicators. Now, going back to the objective, if your objective is followers, now if I post this piece of content, I know probably how much followers I would get. Now that's based on data, that's pro level thing. And if you understand that, you will never ever create bad content ever again. Now, another important aspect is create content based on market layers. Now, markets has layers, and once I understood that, my perspective on business totally shifted. Because a lot of language academy owners fear niching down, thinking that by selecting only one language, they will lack learners because they are minimizing their chances of getting more students. But it's the opposite way. Niching down will make you understand your niche better, so you can speak to them better, so they can trust you better. But in the niche itself, there is multiple layers. There is a niche of niche. That's how complicated and that's how specific and detailed the market is. You should understand the layers of your niche and dedicate each piece of content to that layer. Because people are different in market. There is people who just enjoy the language. There is people who want to learn the language, and there is people who need the language. That's how markets are shaped. There is something called a customer journey, and I know a lot of you probably heard of these things. Now, you should remember that the goal of creating content is to achieve a goal. And one of the biggest goals you should achieve is making content get really students, because that will make your cost per student less expensive. Now, to do that, you should understand the relationship between ads and content, because content alone is not enough, and ads alone are not enough. You need to create a flywheel between content and ads. So ads can serve content and content can serve ads. And when I say combining ads and content, I don't mean running the wellness ads, because I know it is cheaper to run awareness ads, but awareness ads will not get you students who want to buy unless you have a solid content strategy. And the content strategy itself won't be powerful if you don't have new people visiting your page. Now, if you want me to create a video explaining exactly how to combine ads and content and leverage them to get more students and more qualified students who want to actually learn and stay with you, because we don't want to just get students, we want to get students that sticks with us at least 3 months, so you get high LTV. Now I want you to actually make the decision to niche down and understand your market at a deep level and start creating content that serves these people, not for the sake of views, because views don't equal money. Yeah, these people who have only 5,000 followers, who only have 3,000 followers and making more money than you just because they have a clear message, they speak directly to their target audience. Please, for the sake of God, do not create content just to get views. Now, don't get me wrong, views are so important, but only if you have a solid content strategy. Only if you know that this content is getting new students. If you get a lot of views, but the message is not clear or you're not getting benefits from people watching this, then you are not making progress. You only focus on views once you know that the content actually is getting you students. And as I said, if you want to create a video explaining how to combine ads and organic content to have a flywheel serving content and art that will serve your student acquisition goals, then comment below ads plus organic powered creative video for you.